just to give you a little, review of just last week, and really what I saw on tape is what I thought, saw during the game, felt during the game. There's always a feeling thing that I think sometimes you have. But I would say, with week one being over, a lot of learning for our kids, what they did, what they could have done better. There was a lot of guys playing in the first game, starting in the first game, playing for the first time in a year, with a Hendricks and a Zeiss, for example, or even a Max Brown, for that example. Been a long time since I've been in a game situation. As many scrimmages you have, there's nothing like game experience. For a coach, I told you, it's almost a relief to get the first week over, because now you know what you're dealing with. You really don't know until you have a true game to see how you match up against a good football team, and an even better one, obviously, this weekend. But you kind of know what to fix now. I mean, as we talk to the coaches, it's kind of like until you go to the doctor and find out what's wrong with you, you can't give the patients the right medicine. Now we know what kind of medicine they need, and we should be able to tailor practices, tailor individual towards what needs to be done. As I've told you in the past, you make your best improvement, between week one and week two. It's kind of like getting on the right antibiotic, I guess, Larry. You know what I'm saying? So I think we've prescribed the antibiotic, and I think it'll be fun to watch what we can do in week two. So just a quick roster update, just to keep. I told you if there's someone out for the year, I would tell you. I know Jerry's eyes popped right up here this morning, pop up, but just to when there's a guy out for the year, there's no sense in keeping it to ourselves, I guess. But Quentin Virginis will be out for the year with a non-football related injury. So after a suspension, we have an injury. So he's a guy that really is lost for the year. Disappointing, but something we deal with. That's what we do. So obviously we're happy with how Salim played and led the defense out there Saturday. So we'll continue to go in that manner. And then obviously, Penn State, big week this week. Great football team. I think from our estimates, about 16 returning starters playing a lot of football. A really good football team. Ranked 6th in the country. Probably go up higher this week after the blowout win over Akron. Looked dominant on all phases of the game. Akron couldn't protect the quarterback. They were, their front four. Coach Price got the front four going big time. They got, Cabina and Manny Bowen in there, two really good linebackers, and Marcus Allen, the safety, number 2, really good football player. So they're nasty on defense. Obviously, with credit to their coaching staff and what they've done recruiting-wise, good football team. Coach Moorhead in the offense, again, is, explosive, scoring a lot of points like they did a year ago, which got them to the Rose Bowl. Very well coached on both sides of the ball, but, offensively, they do what they do. Obviously, Trace is a heck of a quarterback, and Barkley is a heck of a tailback. So you got 2 guys in the backfield that you must stop. Trace did a lot of running. I'd anticipate him continuing to carry the ball. They brought the backup quarterback, did package with him. I'm sure they'll have some new packages we haven't seen, because half their backups and third team were in the second half. So they should be fresh and ready to go Saturday. So, you guys got any questions? Sure you did.
Ted, I think I asked you this last year. You talk about every week's the same, but when you don't make your players available for one specific week, does that send a message in the locker room that this is a different week? This isn't. Youngstown State or Clemson or anybody else?
I guess it does. I mean, I would say that for sure. I mean, it isn't. I think I said that last year. It's not just another week. And understand this, it has nothing to do with you guys either. I love you guys. It has nothing to do with keeping you out. It's just keeping our kids tight. It has nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, after the game, we'll give you more guys. It's, win or lose. I mean, that's what we'll do. So it's not a matter of, anything you guys did. I respect you guys. I thank you for everything you guys do. You'll still get a piece of me if you want. So that's the big thing. You won't miss too much there. But all the talk should be about the game and the matchups. And I think you guys know what you're going to do there. But it's a big game. It really is. And I want our guys locked in. Okay, it's an in-state rivalry, at least for us, and we're going to prepare for it that way.
Is there concern about them? Is there concerns of them saying something that would get on a bulletin board and have
No, not really. Not with our guys. Not with our guys. if you look at their GPAs, we don't really have that problem. They're pretty, you know, EJ does a good job just teaching them how to talk to the media, and you know, I don't worry. If there's a guy that I would worry about something they'd say, I wouldn't let you have him anyway. So we could control that. I could just give you all the guys that I wouldn't worry about, but no, it doesn't have anything to do with that either. And you know what? I'm not worried about our coaches going to say anything, but I'm still, you know, it's just a matter of focus on what we're doing. And, you know, it's just like I can't wait to get out of here today. EJ doesn't set me up with any little interview afterwards, and I'm going to change, put a pair of shorts on. I'm in with the, you know, in with tape. It's just time to go. The first week is, you know, paying a butt. We got bonfires. You know, we got everything. This is football, and we get to lock into it. It's going to be fun.
What makes this week different than a conference week or any other game of the season that would make you approach it differently this way?
Well, I think every game is big in its own way. I mean, Youngstown game was big because it's the first game of the season, you know. Penn State game is a big game because it's an in-state rivalry game. It's important not only to the guys that sit in this room, but to the community out there, to the state of Pennsylvania, to the city of Pittsburgh. It's a pride thing, and that's why it's big. But, you know, you go into the next week, go to Oklahoma State, it's big because we went out there and took an L. It's going to be big, so we'll have our reasons for that. So every week, you know, we're going to build it into what it should be, is, and we like it that way.
What about the day, maybe later this season, when the ACC comes to the championship is on the line?
You saying you might get closed out again?
I'm asking.
I would say there might be a real good chance of that, yeah. You know, why not? I didn't say it was, you know, I didn't give you a rule that we can only do it once a year, but, you know, it's like one and done. But, yeah.
Yeah, from a football standpoint, I mean, you guys had trouble protecting Max in the second half. You just talked about Penn State's, you know, defensive front. I mean, what were some of the issues looking at the film on Saturday?
Lack of focus, lack of fundamentals, feeling good about yourself. We're up 21-0, everything's good. You know, complacency. I think a lot of that goes, you know, I look at the tape and guess what? I didn't see, you know, Coach Pelini change a whole lot of different things. You know, felt like they were hungrier in the second half than we were. You know, I think maybe we got full in the first half, full of ourselves, thinking, hey, we're okay, and that wasn't the case, which sometimes happens in those games. You know, we won't be hungry this week. The great thing is we were able to come back and get hungry, and, you know, when it was like, oh, my gosh, what happened here? We lost it, and we regained our focus, and you see some people can't do that. You know, you watch what happened last night. Someone's up, and then someone comes back, and all of a sudden, boom, it flips, and they're done. Not a good thing, not, you know. But you know what? When you're up, okay, and then all of a sudden the other guy ties you up, and all of a sudden you can rebound. To me, that shows character and resolve. And you know, I'm happy again that adversity, as I talked about after the game. It's a good thing.
Sorry about that. I would think that the general consensus of everyone outside of this building says that you guys have no chance this coming week. Describe the opportunity that you and the kids have here to pull off yet another upset.
Well, you know, first of all, we don't, outside these walls, you know, we try to tell our guys, you know, really don't worry about it. But that's great. I mean, they're a great football team. There's no doubt about it. And we got to go into a hostile environment, which we've done before and had success. But you know, the odds are against us. You know, I'm not blind to that, and you know, it's okay. It's okay. It's nice to be the underdog. We were the underdog last year too. So what's the difference?
You talked about, you know, how big this game is, you know, not just for you guys, but the community and everything, and it's obviously a good rivalry now that it's back. Is hate too strong of a word for the relationship between Pitt and Penn State at this point?
You have to ask them. I don't know.
Ask Penn State?
Ask them if it is. I don't know. I mean, we're just going to play the game. We're just going to play football. That's why there's you know, there's no hate here. I know that. But I don't think there's any hate there either.
In what ways have you seen Barkley evolve even in the last years? He's sort of just the same kid, and just a little bit more experience. He's stronger,
I think. He's fast. He does it all. I mean, he can do it all. I'm sure we're going to see some wheel routes. You know, I don't know if you guys know what a wheel route is, but that wheel route that, you know, we saw a couple the other day. You know, we'll have that ironed out in every different possible formation you can see. We didn't obviously see a lot of them in preseason. Did a bad job as coaches. Starts with me, but we'll have that ironed out as well.
What was the problem with the wheel routes?
Just didn't, you know, there was a couple picks. You know, they did a good job acting, and you know, picks are illegal, but not only if they get called, and we didn't do a good job adjusting. One time it was a miscommunication, really twice, whether they catch it or not. Just, that's what it comes down to.
How was the challenge in a rivalry game? Is it managing your team's emotion, keeping it more or less even, or is it rising to an anticipated level for the opposition?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I don't think you can get up too early. I mean, we certainly don't want to get fired up on Tuesday. It's time to get fired up on a Saturday, when we arrive at the stadium. But, I think you got to have the composure and you worry about yourselves. It's all about what we do in this room, what we do as coaches, the preparation we put in, the focus we put in on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in practice. But preparation is the key, and all the rest of those things come along, with the game.
Your team shows a sign of weakness, like the wheel routes, for instance, in the season opener. What kind of concern is there that obviously Penn State's watching film on something like that?
Everybody's got weaknesses, and that's what we do as coaches. That's why we find out where we are, you measure it, and then you find the right medicine for it. So we have medicine for it. It's not like the first time we've seen a wheel route. I can go all the way back to John Mish, number 36 at Michigan State, getting hit on a wheel route. We fixed, he was on the Survivor show too, by the way. So that when I think of wheel routes, I think of John Mish. So we've seen them in the past, and then every year they recycle themselves and come back to different things. And it's like, oh, the wheel route's back. It's in vogue now. But they did a nice job. Give them credit out different formations. 3-by-1, 2-by-2, 2-by-2 with a tight end. So we'll be okay.
How did you fix it with Mish? What did you do?
Just fix the coverage and coach it up and make sure you pay attention to the details. It's so hard with all the different the different routes you're getting and things what are you worried about going into the game, and then what are you worried about during the game. So you coach up. I mean, you try to defend everything, but sometimes the unknown is the unknown.
When you're out in public, when you're at the grocery store,
I don't go to the grocery store.
Well, I mean, whatever. Are you ever out in public, or is it just you hold up or you bunker here?
I went to church on Sunday.
I mean, how is the
Saw Father Mac.
What's the ratio between getting asked about this one game versus getting asked about the 11 others or 12 others?
Say that. What was the question again?
What's the ratio between you get asked about this one specific game in March at church on Easter Sunday or whatever versus what about that Wake Forest game? I mean, what's the ratio?
It's about the same. Matter of fact, I walked out of church and everybody said, "Hey, congratulations." Father Mac didn't say, "Hey, how about the game this week?" He said, "Hey, great job in the win." That was it. A couple of the ushers, same thing. You're out the door.
Yeah, pretty nice church.
That's right. They're nice.
You mentioned
They're not reporters.
You said Virginius out for the year. Is he a guy who could redshirt, considering he's
Yes.
a true senior?
Yes. He's never redshirted.
Do you anticipate redshirting him and having him back next year?
That would be the plan.
Coach,
He'll graduate in December too, I believe.
you had Max in all spring, but did you learn anything in this opening game that you maybe did not know, what you saw out there on the field, the way he handled us after?
The way he handled who?
Us.
I don't know how I don't. You thought he was superb? I didn't even, I don't watch any of that. So I apologize. I'm glad he was good. EJ would have told me if he was bad. Max is a class act. That's why he was voted captain here in the last place. I mean, he's good. I'd like to see him make a few more plays. We'd like to. He had a great run, and we encouraged him to run. There was another third down where he could have run, and he kind of threw it, just to make sure he didn't take a negative. We'd like to hold on to the ball. I mean, there's a lot of little things, just fundamentals. And again, first time he's been under fire for, over a year, really. He's sitting on the sideline with headphones on, going out for the coin toss is the only time he really got on the field. I mean, there's a lot of learning for him. And it just, to me, it's everybody. I'll point out, you talk about the heat of the moment, okay? Go to the second play. No, I wouldn't even talk about it. I wouldn't even talk about it because that might give somebody else something else. But next question.
When you look at the inability to establish a second-half run game against Youngstown State, was that just maybe letting the foot off the pedal, or did they find a way that's...
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, you have to bring a psychologist in here to figure that out, and you have to be in right then at the moment. But, it's what it appears to be. But
seeing the game, I mean, did they do something different
no.
in the second half?
Just like I said earlier, they didn't do anything different that made you just a lack of focus. And, when you start to feel good about yourself, you think, oh, this is easy, and you might not even know it, but it happens, And it can happen to a coach. As I told them I told our kids last night, it can happen to a coach. You know, I'm on the headphones, and you know, coach's like, "Hey, maybe we should get this guy and this guy." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 way too early." But you know what? It's all that thought of, "Hey, get him out so he doesn't get hurt because we're killing these guys." But no, that's not the case. So it happens.
You talked about not using a certain package in the Constantine game.
I did.
You didn't mention what it was, but you said you package it. Are you looking forward to getting that package off the shelf and using it this week?
I'd like a few packages off the shelf. So
you have other packages you didn't use in that game?
put it this way: when we go into a game, we probably have about 30% of really an offense or a defense. We don't have everything in. You pick and choose. I mean, you have all your stuff on your board. This is all the stuff. What do we like against this defense? What do we like against that defense? You know, what are we going to do? And you pick and choose and pull stuff down. You shelf stuff that maybe we did a lot this week. You know, they'll practice a lot against it. We won't even do it next week. But they're practicing it all week. You know, like this week, we'll probably practice the heck out of the wheel routes, and they won't want a wheel route. But you wasted a lot of time on wheel routes. We got that covered, right? So it's all kind of and I'm sure we'll see at least one to see if we got it fixed. And I'm sure, you know, the same thing. They're going to see some things, see if they got it fixed too.
You weren't pleased with your 4 or 5 minute pass rush. What did you see from Dwayne Hendricks? It seemed like there were some drives where he really stepped it up.
Yeah, Dwayne's a powerful guy, and you know we got to put him in position to be successful. I felt like we maybe did too much junky stuff up front instead of just letting him rush. You know, we missed a couple sacks too. I mean, you know, but there's times when we're just so aggressive, going right at your body and not containing the guy. But you know, Alan Edwards, I know, missed one, and you know, there's times where if we push the pocket, you know, we get a couple more sacks. So we'll clean. That's all stuff that you find out. You know, who can make a play. I mean, one time Folston comes wrapping around, couldn't have been a prettier stunt, but our nose gets out of his lane, and the quarterback steps up and throws. It's like, you know, Folston should have had a sack, but you know, we let some of those things go.
Folkster's back on the depth chart. How do you anticipate getting him back in the mix, whether it's what spot, who he's replacing, that kind of thing?
Well, we're, you know, obviously slowly going to get him back. I mean, when you don't have him for the opener, you know, he doesn't get those reps with the ones. So we've lacked his, you know, his work with the ones and getting that, you know, that stuff. I mean, we just, you know, you have to move on to the next. You know, we got to prepare, you know, Mike Herndon, you know, to be, you know, a guy that rotated, you know, I think, you know, probably part-time with Brandon Hodges. So you're trying to get 2 guys ready for that position for the opener when you don't, you don't have Alex, but he's a guy that's played before. But you know, at least it hadn't been a year. It's been, you know, since January, so it's been 6 months, and he's gotten a few reps down there. Last week he was on the scout field, you know, working. You know, he's a Youngstown State guard, so we got a good look there, and so you know, we'll bring him back slowly, see what he knows, see how, you know, how it goes.
Could you tell that cross training you did in training camp with guys like Hodges, folks are coming to play this week?
Oh, there's no question, no doubt.
Are you a superstitious guy?
Yes.
I mean, is there anything that you would take from the Clemson week last week that you would sort of,
Last
another
year?
situation where you're playing a good team on the road in a place where nobody's supposed to win?
Yeah, well, I don't know which underwear I wore for that game, for the superstitious part, but you know, if I want to keep the same ones on there, you know, there's nothing you take from that game. You know, there's really, you know, no superstition that way.
But in terms of what you showed, I mean, you revisit that moment with the team. I'm sure the kids on.
I am sick of that moment, really. That moment is so far in the past. You know, we can't look back to that one. We're looking forward to the next game, and this is a different football team. I mean, it doesn't matter what we did against Clemson or Penn State a year ago. It doesn't matter. This is a new football team with a lot of new guys that are playing. That, you know, they're really not looking to that at all. That's honest.
I think Penn State perceives this as a rivalry.
I'm sorry?
Do you think Penn State perceives this as a rivalry?
You know, I'm not going to speak for them. That's, you know, I know it's a rivalry game, you know, for us. But, you know, some people think it's a rivalry game. Some people don't. It doesn't matter what they think. It just matters what we think. And, you know, if we think it is, then it is for us. And it doesn't have to be for them. It really doesn't. I mean, everybody has different rivalries.
Did you, after you opened the video, see what happened with why Henderson wasn't more involved in the passing game?
You get a lot of double coverage out there. Yeah, you said Quadri?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking Jester for some reason. Why wasn't involved? You know, just not being able to get the ball. I mean, we didn't really throw the ball down the field much. I mean, it was a lot of short stuff, and you know, just who you're targeting, I guess. He was hurt, maybe, Jerry. He was hurt.
Oh, right.
Type
Yeah,
that
as
up.
far as the backfield stuff, is that sort of the ratio that you would, if everything is working going forward?
Tailback wise?
Yeah.
We'd like to get, one other guy involved back there, as soon as possible. And, I thought AJ did a great job, came in and, got a touchdown. And, I was scared to death. We put him in on 4th and 1. And it's like, we're putting the ball in a freshman's hand on 4th and 1. But, AJ did a heck of a job, just like we thought he did in camp. But, big game, first game. I was impressed with him. But, we'll see. Again, we're going to play the guy that's hot. If it's AJ's hot, Shantez comes back's hot, whoever's, ready to go.
Coach, you've got a couple former players who possibly could or will make their NFL debuts this coming week. What does that say about your program and moving forward?
Yeah, I've been so locked into this game. I know Coach LaSalle gave me a list of who's made the team and all that. It means a lot. I'm going to see the highlights. I'm not going to have a chance to watch any of those because we'll be working on the next one by that time. But, it's impressive. Obviously, it's great to see a lot of guys get on practice squads. That's not easy, whether it's a Matt Galambos or Tyreek Jarrett. I mean, some guys, it is hard to make a 53-man roster. You look at Bam Bradley, made the 53-man roster, correct? I mean, that's an incredible job by some of those guys. And I don't have a list of all of them, but, it's impressive. And, it shows you, what hard work will get you in the end. And if you work hard, and I watch some of those guys just run around in some of the highlights, and and the toughness part and the motor and the effort with the things we talk about on that back wall show up. I mean, they like Galambos because he's a smart guy that can pick up stuff. Well, that's important. As important as a guy that runs really fast or can catch the ball. I mean, Dantes did a heck of a job up in Detroit, free agent. And I remember I was his agent. He made the team, right? Not practice. He's practice squad? Okay. I mean, he made the team up there, but it was going between Detroit and New England. I was trying to get my son off to prom or something. I don't know. Would that have been prom time of the year? And I'm his agent. I didn't even know until that day of the draft. Like, Coach, should I go to New England or Detroit? But, no, I'm happy for all those guys.
Saquon, you mentioned how strong and fast he is, Barkley. How do you try to stop a guy like that, or at least slow him down?
Well, you better be sound. You better be in the right gaps. You better, he'll jump out of a gap. You'll think he's going there, he'll go there. Everybody's got to be gap sound. You got to get penetration in the backfield, and you load the box, and then they got the other things. They got players outside too.
When you a younger team on a week like this, big game rivalry, do you keep a closer eye on guys to see how they're handling it throughout the week? Because it's obviously a different field than Youngstown State. Yeah,
unfortunately, we only get them for a couple hours a day, so I can't go in the dorm rooms at night and see what they're doing. They don't let me stay with them during the year. So you're not around them all day. So, we try to, ground them as far as, hey, let's work here and go to school and then study when you leave here. That's what our guys do. But, hopefully, they understand how important it is. It's not what you do when you go out, out to class in Oakland on 5th and Forbes. It's what you do here. But I think they'll stay pretty focused.
Take it to that. How do you approach the preparations and like the psychology with a guy like Alex Kessler, considering what happened?
You know what? Those are two good kicks. I blame myself for the last one. You can write this down. I knew he liked the left hash because I asked him last week, you like left hash or right hash? And he said, I like the left hash. But I never asked him if he liked it in the middle. But he kicked those ones in the middle, the extra points. So as it's flying and there's 13 seconds, hey, line it up, center it up, and get that thing done. So yesterday I said, hey, by the way, do you like it in the middle or the left hash? He goes, the left hash. I'm like, sorry. Then put both of them right. So put that on me. But, I got a ton of faith. There's not a guy that sits in this room as a coach, a player, a manager, trainer that doesn't have faith in that kid. He's strong. His first game, I saw Blewett do it in his 55th game. I mean, he kicked some game winners, and he's going to be a heck of a kicker. You see the type of leg he's got. I mean, those things, we just got to straighten him out a little bit. And he said, again, he's the first one to say, Coach, I don't care, left hash, right hash, middle, I should have put it through the upright, period. He's that type of kid. So, I have faith in him, and psychology-wise, he's got faith in himself. There's a trust there for sure.
How did Jimmy Morrissey handle that first start?
He did pretty good. I mean, he did pretty good. There's some things, obviously, I can pick out, 11 guys on each phase of the game that were in a game that, has things to work on. But he has some things he needs to work on. And, he had a couple, missed assignments as far as, what he was doing and who he was blocking at times, and just a communication thing. And again, communication across the board, whether it's on a wheel route or blocking back on a shade or a 3 technique, are things that, hit him fast. I mean, again, you learn what he needs. Why didn't you see that? Oh, I see it now, coach. I didn't realize it. There's all those things I think are important to know.
Losing Martinez, how big is that for your depth at linebacker?
It's about the same as it was last week. The good thing is the depth chart hadn't changed. It's the same. And we prepared all camp for it. But he's a great player and a great kid, so obviously we'd like to have him, but what are you going to do?